Record.
Hey. Oh,
Mute
you're on
monster,
mute,
as
Jenna.
Katya always says. Welcome. We're a couple minutes early, so we're gonna
Okay.
just gonna vamp for a minute and say hi to people as they come in.
Yeah.
As you come in, I can't actually post to everyone as a panelist, so I'm just gonna say, please give us some energy. We're so excited to have Brenda here. Give us some energy in the chat, post some emojis. We talked about the emoji rules this morning. We need a little bit of energy from all of you to keep going all day because it does tend to get to be a long day otherwise. So would love to see, I would love to see in the chat, where are you joining us from and what time is it where you are? For me, it is noon and I'm in Utah. 7 p. Oh, that's right. You're in London. I was like, Brenda's in Vancouver. No, you're not.
Well, tomorrow night I'll be in Vancouver.
Nice. London. How's London been?
Hot,
Yeah.
but good. Yeah. Hot but good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I ran my bundle last week here in my
Very
Airbnb, which was
nice.
fun. Kind of testing the system of being a digital nomad full
I
time.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
This is one of the coolest things about what we do, the online stuff. The
Yeah.
ability to do it what we're doing from wherever we want to be.
11 a.m.
Okay.
on Vancouver Island with Katya. I'd love to be on Vancouver Island and it'd be 11 a.m. Could be awesome.
Vancouver
Especially where
lives in
you are, Katya.
Chicago. Hey, Chi-town. It is 1 p.m. Central. Is it super hot and humid there? I lived there for like 10 years. And
In
August is
Chicago?
humid.
In
Yeah.
Chicago? Isn't it hot everywhere right now? It's like all I
Right.
hear from people is hot. Except
We
Vancouver.
have
Vancouver's not so
we're
hot.
getting a cool down at 95 for the next 3 days, and I'm super grateful because last week it said today was going to be 107 where I am. So I
No,
did
thank
not
you.
sign up for Arizona.
Sorry, every now and then, like I have to keep my windows open and my fan open because there's no AC in my place. I forgot to get a place with AC. And I think there's an ambulance dispatch.
We're not hearing it.
Like 2 buildings over. So hopefully my echo cancellation is working.
Yeah, it is working. We're not hearing anything but you.
Okay, good.
Ooh, Susanna's in Portugal. Nice.
Mhm.
Nita's in San Antonio. It's 1 p.m. there. Chantel's in Ontario. Beautiful. Ron is in Missouri. Lovely to see you. Thank you for the butterflies. Katya's in Vancouver Island. Carolyn is also in London. Nice.
Very nice.
Lotus Rose is in California. High 80s and slight breeze. Oh, I wish. That's like perfect August weather, Kimberly. Let's see. And Anna's in Nebraska. Awesome. Well, welcome. We are so excited to have Brenda Rigney here with us. So,
Thanks.
Brenda, just a little personal note, hosted the very first summit I participated in on School. And I fell in love with the School summit model so hard that I've done like what almost every summit you've have I done every summit you've done so far?
I think you've done everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, like absolutely love the model because it's unlike any other summit you've ever been to, with the ability to interact with the participants and the speakers in the community. Such a great experience, and Brenda managed everything so beautifully. I was just super impressed with the way she ran it and the whole model. So
Thank
Brenda
you.
is, I'm a huge fan. If you
that was
can't
a nail.
tell,
Yeah.
Brenda Rigney. So let me introduce you to Brenda. She is a business strategist, community builder, and founder of School Scale Camp. She helps entrepreneurs use AI, community, and collaboration to grow recurring revenue businesses. So she's a former COO, and she has helped build communities with 12,000 plus members. So welcome, welcome. We are so excited to hear from you. You want to go ahead and take the stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're now over 13,000 as of last week, which is amazing because we ran a bundle in one of my communities. And a bundle, in case you don't know, is not a summit where there's a lot of speakers. It's just more the swag bag and a little bit of speakers. I like to throw in a bit of speakers. Yeah, so that was incredible. We've got Alette too from South Africa, which is awesome.
Nice. Step off the stage and we'll have Katya spotlight you so you can have the full stage. And
perfect.
I will be here in case you
and
need
I can share my slides. I can share my screen. Let me try.
Katya, can you allow Brenda to share? This is
I just sent a
this
request.
is a running joke with us. Her settings are set to automatically not.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay,
perfect. Yeah, I can. Okay, thanks everyone. Let me just set up my screen. It's great to be here. And yeah, that summit that Jen was referring to that she came in last year in October was a little crazy. We brought in like 4,000 people in a day. I tested already summits one time, but we brought in 950. And it was kind of a gradual process over like 3-4 weeks. So I didn't think it was that bad. And then I was just like, I want to go like full force with this and see what it looks like. And yeah, it's kind of like when you ask for something and then you get it, it's fun, but it's also like, whoa, what did I ask for here? And yeah, and it was a big learning curve. So today I'm talking about, it was actually, let me back up a bit because I know Calvin was in here a couple hours ago, and Calvin is like the master on creating engagement on School. He's probably like one of the top guys on School that's like had his green, held the flame on School the longest. And he's my mentor. So I was saying to Jen in the chat before we signed on, it's kind of like Obi-Wan and young Skywalker. I'm the young Skywalker, even though I'm probably older than him, like an Obi-Wan. But I've learned tons from him about engagement. And I think that's the thing, is that I've learned a ton from him. I've learned a ton from others, and I'm continually sharing. My background, as Jen mentioned, is I come from corporate ops. When I left corporate 8 years ago, I started my consulting business, and then I kind of moved into masterminds. And then I discovered School through one of a mutual mentor who's also, I think, in the summit this week, Evelyn Weiss. And Evelyn's taught me like tons of stuff around School, but primarily ads. Like that's really where I wanted to like learn from her on. And that's been like a cornerstone to like my success as well, as far as growing on School. But this is still relatively a new thing for me. I'm like always transparent about it. Like I'm counting down like 9.5, almost 10 months where I'm now creating monthly recurring revenue. But like literally this time last year, I was making money off of School. I had a 6-figure business off of School, but on School, I was generating probably like 350, 400 monthly recurring dollars in monthly recurring revenue, like this time last year in August. It wasn't until I launched that summit that Jen's talking about that it really just like sort of blew up in a good way. And I kind of cracked the nut on what it looked like. And then I utilized mentors like Goose Dunlevy, who's here, I think this week as well, and Calvin, just to really like kind of wrap my head around like growing this large community. And I'm not adverse to like working with large numbers of people, because as Jen mentioned, I was a COO before, and I worked in organizations with 25,000 people, 5,000 people, 10,000. So working with large volumes of people and communicating out strategies and vision statements and, and helping managers lead teams of people is not foreign to me as far as like working with large volumes of people, but it was more just on the platform in School and just seeing what other people had done with it. So today I want to just sort of share with you this experience engine, which I think nicely dovetails the conversation I had this morning with Calvin, just knowing how he talks and what he thinks about. I wasn't there for the conversation, but I work with him every week. And so I kind of anticipate what he's going to be talking about. I want to go into more of sort of the nuts and bolts and how like it's really evolved in my community and how it's always evolving. Like it's not just sort of built and done. I'm continually looking at what members need and building from there. So just like it says here, how to build a community people actually want to pay for, which I think is the key thing. So drop in the chat right now. All right, like, do you have a school community? Are you monetizing on school? Drop me a 1. Drop me a 2 if you'd like to be. So I'm just kind of curious, like sort of where everybody's at. Are you making money on school right now? Drop a 1, drop a 2 in there. If you're like, hey, I want to make more money or I'm not quite there yet. And that's fine. There's no grading system. It's just more out of curiosity, just sort of where people are at. So we got a mixture. We've got some more 2s though. And that's great. So we want to start making money on school or we want to start making more money on school. Yeah, that's how I'm defining 2. And 1 is that we're already making money on school. Okay, good. 1 with a freemium, but looking to get more people into my paid tiers. Awesome, Tracy. Okay, cool. Yes, and I know you're making money on school. So, and we want to make more, and that's cool. So let's get into it. My first thing, and I'm going to kind of talk about sort of more principles, and then I want to show you just sort of how that manifests into the community and how I've sort of built it up and continually looking at things. Even after this last bundle that I just ran last week, I've already started making some changes and thinking about where pathways should go. So the first one is the content treadmill is a trap. And we just have to be so careful of it, especially with AI now, because it's so easy for us to make content. It's so easy for us to produce anything, whether that's Instagram carousels or a blog post. And so it's really easy, I think, to get into this, oh, I'll just create another PDF, another course, another 60-minute video, another challenge. And one of the things that I do with a lot of my VIP members inside the School Scale Camp is I audit their classrooms and I look at their ascension pathways, and we'll talk about what that looks like. And one of the things that I typically do is like, okay, how can we strip this away? Is this old? Like, how old is this content? You know, where can we freshen it up? Where can we collapse some things? For me, it's like getting the classroom back to like page 1, because I notice it more and more when I'm running summits and bundles. It's like I'll expand out even into page 4 just because I'm adding speakers. And I can tell like the anxiousness that it sometimes creates with some of our members is that there's just so much content to get through, albeit it's only for 3 days, but it feels like there's a lot. And so I'm very conscious of this. And I think it has to be even more so. I'm also, you know, this is just a side note because I work specifically with midlife women entrepreneurs. So that might be some of you in this audience. It might not be. But I think generally we can relate to this. What I'm also seeing is prior to sort of this like breakthrough of AI and all these conveniences that it offers and capacity that brings us, I'm actually seeing people working even more because we're creating more even with AI. It was almost like before I could only create so much and then I had to maybe outsource or do a certification in like course design or HTML. And that would just cost us more money and more time. And so we put off maybe that initiative. Now with AI, with Claude Code and all these platforms that are coming out with like literally every week, it's almost like, and I can sometimes catch myself doing this, like I just get into content creation mode or thing creation mode. And so I think this is something that as we continue to look at our classrooms and look at content, this is the trap that we have to be mindful of. And then the last piece that I want to kind of share with you is this is also the opportunity to think about what does the classroom become on school? Not just in the next couple of weeks or between now and say holiday time, but I'm talking about this time next year, because that's where I'm sort of like always evolving. Like August last year, I wasn't making more than $400 monthly recurring revenue. Now I'm making 15,000 recurring revenue. Okay, so what is it going to look like in 2027, this time next year? But I think this time next year on school, I'm predicting that with classroom content, it's like gone away. Most of it has gone away. And it's more applications, more transformation, more instant return. And here's just an example of some things that I've started building out. Because even though I operate, what was I going to say? Even though I like open the chat, I need to close the chat. Even though I operate in an AI community, like it's just changing so fast that like I am like new to some of these things. And so I've just been pouring myself into Claude Code and looking at what I can create. So here's just a couple examples. So this was our AI summit that we did in June. This is the all access speaker pass that members can purchase inside the community, free or paid members. And one of the things that I did was, because we had all these speakers, right? We had like a bazillion speakers, like 67 speakers or something. And I was like, how can I make it easy for people that are purchasing the all access speaker pass? So I didn't put this out in my free community. I already put it out to the people that purchased the pass. Is I created an app in Claude Code that took all of the sessions from all the speakers and put it into an app where they could actually apply it into a strategic planning framework. Meaning, okay, out of all these like 67 new ideas that you got, and within each of these half-hour to hour-long sessions, they're giving you all these ideas, much like you're going through this week, and identify, like, help the audience identify the key gems, and then put it into an application for a strategy plan for the back half this year. And basically narrowing it down to that they could only do 2 to 3 of them. So out of all these ideas that they collected, you can only do 2 to 3. Because at the end of the day, it's about crossing the finish line on 2 to 3 things than trying to do 67. And never mind the fact that it's not really 67 because the speaker talked for about an hour. So it's not 67 ideas. It's probably like times 4 or 5 from what they shared with you. And so I wanted to make it something that would like help them cross the finish line on it. So that's just like an idea of where, you know, yes, I'm uploading the hour-long, half-hour sessions because people want to watch the replay, but what are you doing with that information afterwards? And then you're like left to your own devices to try and figure out how do you put that into your business. And so we created an app in Claude Code to make them, you know, to help facilitate that next step, that next action after the summit was over. And then recently we just ran an event last week, a bundle, so not a summit, swag bag, small amount of speakers. And just like the week prior to us launching, or 2 weeks prior, was around there was this interview that was launched on Schoolers. You may have seen it. A gentleman, can't remember the name, interviewed Sam Evans, co-founder of School, for 2 hours and 8 minutes. It's a fabulous interview, but there are so many things that they're talking about and so many questions, and Sam's popping out this and this idea and this idea. I basically put it into Claude and said, okay, can you just like distill this? I watched it, but I just want to walk away with like, what is the must-dos that I need to think about? And it basically distilled it down into like 11 chapters, and it gave me all the speaking notes, and it gave me some like exercises to action. And then I'm like, I want to build this out into an app. I want to build this out into a user-friendly tool that members, when they can either choose to watch this, or if they just want to get the keynotes, like kind of Cole's notes, and the application, like, again, bring this back to my business, bring this back to my own school community, see, like, create an assessment plan. Like, how far off am I away from what Sam's, you know, utopian guide to being a school community host is looking like? So that it's not just, again, a nice to do, watch this video and now figure it out on your own, but actually there's an application that you can fold in scenarios around your own business and see it in action. And that's where it's like helping people, because at the end of the day, whether you're a coach, a mentor, a strategist, a consultant, whatever role you play with your clients or members in your business, you're there to help them get from this A to B. So this is where I'm looking at less on course content, less on videos, and really more on application so that people can put this into everyday practice and they can see transformations happen sooner, right? Because to watch all these videos or to watch this 2-hour session and then be, again, left to my own devices to try and do this on my own, or come into community, utilize an interactive app to help get it done. So these are just a couple examples of where I'm shifting what course content is going to look like. And even in my own community, like this is my classroom right now. Sorry, my internet might be a little slow. I was having some difficulties with it this morning. It's kind of like warming up again. The little mice are working or something somewhere. But, you know, I go into this community, like this course, it's a good course. It talks about how to be a leader on school. Like, and these are all like little mini videos, and you can get through these things in like an hour here, an hour there. But why don't I just take all that content and build on an app around it? And so then people are saying, well, what do I do if somebody is a toxic member in my community? What happens if somebody's, you know, putting posts up there that are like way too long and wordy and it's like not getting any momentum? Like, how do I delete a post and still salvage that relationship with a member? Like, I can take all that content and put it into a useful app that people can ask questions and get an instant answer from. It's like, Brenda, like walking along on their phone with them. So more to come on that. But I think, we're only on the slide 1 here, and I want to make sure that we're conscious of our time. And I know there's stuff in the chat, and we'll make time for questions. So even though I do lots of summits and manage them myself, I wouldn't say that my hidden talent is navigating between slides and chat very well. Stop building content and start building experiences. And this is where this whole app piece goes. So the old form content you could see here. What do I need to create next? I've got this passive consumer. I think, I know they downloaded the PDF. Did they get through it? Did they not get through it? And then the volume of information, right? Like you guys are all going to walk away with like tons of great information this week. I know a lot of the speakers that are here, you're going to get, chef's kiss on like what you need to be doing in your business, and your life, and the whole spectrum. And I think the other thing is this experience engine, the new way. What experiences can I create, this active participant, and sharing progress and connection, which is, again, this whole piece around affinity and community, friendships, belonging, which all of us are craving. So for me now, it's not about a topic. It's not about what I need someone to learn. It's more about what do they want to create? What's their goals that they have? What are their aspirations? And making them like more in reach, right? So it's kind of like, if this is here, like, how can we just keep bringing this little honeycomb closer and closer to them? Because we're focused more on the outcome than, all the little tasks that go along the way to getting to that outcome. So again, thinking about transforming from a static information into collective action is where sort of like my head is going around how to leverage AI and community together. So the key thing is, in the past, we would record a lesson, much like we're doing right now, share a PDF, teach AI apps, publish a tutorial. Again, all great ways that people have learned. And as adults, we can adapt to those different learning styles and figure it out. But now I think what people are craving is more that connection with other people and in action. So whether or not we're calling that out in our about pages and asking for that for the members coming in, whether or not we're craving that as hosts, and because I hear this all the time from my members, how do I get more engagement, Brenda? How do I get people doing these things? Well, we need to create the experience for them. If we're still creating this experience, albeit it's still good, right? We would have gotten like a gold star for this when we were launching our online business 2-3 years ago. But this is really what people are craving, right? Is this live co-working session. And I've seen Katya do it. I've brought Jen into my summits to run sessions like this, and it's so impactful. Building, like, I just use an example here, like building a notebook LM, which is what I'm using to do this presentation together. Build one live, with your members, review member work and give feedback right there in the moment, right? So they can see the output. They can see progress moving along the needle, or the needle moving along the bar, whatever the cliche is. Establish a predictable rhythm to drive retention. This is really key, I think, in communities. Number one, it helps keep me organized on things. I'm a manifesting generator. I think I fall into those like 2 buckets. I've done 2 human design tests, and one was manifesting generator, one was generator. Anyways, I like to generate, and I can create a lot of stuff. And because of my background being in operations, I had marketing, digital marketing, like we literally went from print and paper to digital, and that whole sort of trajectory in my career. IT, I've had HR at some point, I've had sales, I've had operations under my wheelhouse. At one point, a CEO gave me finance, and I'm like, do you really want me also like responsible for all the budgets? Like, I'll just do way too much shopping. We'll buy way too much stuff and we'll create more things. We need like a CFO to like safeguard me. So my point is that when you have some of these predictable rhythms, it drives retention. People look forward to it. They know when the weekly Q&A call is going to be. They know when the project call is going to be around something. For example, in my school scale camp right now, our VIP members we just finished week 3. We're heading into week 4 this week of a 9-week project, where it's like every week, Fridays, I think one Thursday, we're flipping to a Thursday, but pretty much like every Friday for 9 weeks, we're meeting with a week off in the middle for integration. I'm also traveling. So it's a good way for everybody to get kind of caught up on what we did in the first 4 weeks and then get ready for the last 4 weeks. But that predictable rhythm creates results. People see progress happening. They see also where they're off track, and they see where they need to get back on track. And they also work in a team doing it. So you get into these weekly cadences, you get into monthly workshops, monthly challenges. These are all things that you can put in place that drive that retention of your members. And people don't want to miss out on those things. And hint, if they span 2 or 3 months, that's even better, because the average lifespan of most school monthly members, when they're paying even premium, is 3 to 5 months. So if something lasts over a 2 to 3 month period, that's a good thing. It equals more retention in your community. And by the way, all these metrics that I'm talking to you about, engagement, participation, these all contribute to school's new growth boost initiative. When we think about things that like will drive more people coming to our community and school sending us more people, it will be conversion, it will be traffic, engagement, and retention. So I'm always sort of focused on things in my business that drive those 4 metrics. When I have those 4 metrics in check, school's going to send me more people. And right now, they send me anywhere between 30 to 40% of the traffic I get is directly from school. So I'm going to do what I need to do to keep that up. And I want to see that even go up to 50%. So the next thing that I want to start to talk about is like sort of design a web of participation. And I want to kind of share what this looks like in some of my communities so you can see it visually, not a broadcast channel. So it's very easy to kind of go in and post content, much like you do, say, on social media or on LinkedIn or in a blog, even if it's weekly, right? Like it's very easy to kind of just do those things, uploading content, creating activities that build but the second part is creating activities that build connection. So even if I'm doing a post, I always want to say in my post, now go check out, so before you post or as you're posting your comment, go and check out 3 other members and comment on their comments, right? So it's like, get back into the community piece. Or I mentioned that we're doing a 9-week project with our VIP members on how to host a school or how to host a summit on school over July, August, and early September. So they're working, together, like on calls, and they post their homework and they comment on each other's homework, and they come back for their next calls and they share their wins and, where they're maybe behind or stuck or hitting a wall on something, but they're doing it together in community. So this could be like a weekly challenge, but not just a weekly challenge where they do it, but how about a weekly challenge where they're doing it together, like they're commenting and they're cheering on each other. They get to ask questions, they get to celebrate wins together. And I also love, like Sarah Hankins was in our bundle last week, and she mentioned also celebrating hardships. Like, let's just recognize the hard things. So this weekend, I put a post out, and I normally do, but I sometimes forget to do it, or I don't do it every month, is a cherry in a pit, right? So it's like share something went well in July around your community and something that didn't go well, like maybe didn't go to plan, backfired, whatever, something that you didn't anticipate. And it was great to see the pluses as well as the letdowns, right? And it's just like, it kind of just shares that we're all human and people were encouraging each other, recognizing each other, cheering each other on, even for the mishaps or the mistakes that were made, because it's life. Business isn't just a beautiful straight upward line as much as we want it to be. Most companies, like go look at any of Warren Bennis's companies that he's interviewed or that he's had in his Berkshire Hathaway portfolio, it's like up, down, up, down, up, down, all over the place, right? So that's just natural, but I think we put so much pressure on ourselves. So it's great to have that affinity, right? That connection with people in our community and giving feedback to one another. It's tough sometimes to hear insights of things that resonate with people and things that don't, but I just sort of I always lean into humanity, that there's like whatever 99.9% of the world's population is out to do good in the world. And yes, there's some bad people in the world, but I just don't generally wake up and think that way. So I know that when people are giving me feedback or giving me insight, it's generally from a place of good. So these are some things to sort of think about, but like where it shows up, I guess, is, just using sort of some examples, like when I go into my community. So I have these typical posts. They're always in my start here. And I always direct new members to step 1. Like there's not 35 steps in my communities. There's like step 1. I actually decided to introduce step 2, which is to modify your notifications. But step 1 is kind of just where you need to be. And in step 1, there's like some common posts that you always see. Like, so there's a who you are. So I love this one because, well, first of all, I let people know kind of like, yeah, blue sky it, just put in there, but also we're not going to put any links in there. We don't want to do any pitching. Like we don't want to feel icky at all. Like we just want to, have people fully express themselves. I love it because it's all in one place. And people are like commenting and going back and doing this. And this often happens in other communities too. But a lot of times they're single posts. And so what I find sometimes as a community member is then it becomes like a lot to have to go through. But here it's just like nice in this like one place and I can kind of go through it and it feels good. Like maybe there might be some people that come in here and feel like, oh, is mine going to be as good as Catherine's? I need to make mine better. Or Jen wrote such a great one here. I don't know if I'm gonna like step up. Oh, I didn't like Jen's. I'm gonna, am I gonna be able to like meet that same thing? So there is sometimes a little bit of that community peer pressure, but at the same time, I love the fact that it's kind of like in one place and everyone sort of like contributes to it. And like you see like the volumes of comments, etc. So I keep these ones always in step one because it's just an easy way for people to start contributing. And the nice thing is in our community now, when we get a new one, because like this one we just put up 12 days ago, but it's exactly like the one that we had up 2 months ago. So I usually keep them there for 1 or 2 months. And then people come in and like the people that are sort of what would I say, more active users in the community or leaders in the community that are really sort of standing out, maybe past speakers, etc., kind of know the drill. And they go in and they comment on new people when this is their first time. And I love that. Like there's just like this welcoming affinity and appreciation for like, I used to be new too in this community and it's going to be fine. Because we do have close to 6,000 members, so it can feel like a little daunting at times. I do acknowledge that even for myself. I'm just like 6,000 members. Oh my gosh, how am I going to keep up? So those are just like a few little examples. Let me share my slides here again. I'm just going to keep track of time because I do want to get through all the things in the chat. I see 24. I'm like, oh, oops. Okay. Now I mentioned about this Ascension Pass. So construct an Ascension Pass for member growth. And so don't make every member pay the same amount, and members must move up as they grow. So, well, Brenda, that's obvious. Like there's paid tiers and there's free and premium and VIP. Yes, exactly. How school sets up a paid tier community or a freemium community or whatever other type of membership community or just a free or just a one-time payment, however you want to do that out of the 5 different models of setting up your community on school. Yes, those are the obvious things. I'm talking about sort of the ascension path that you can create with your content, with your classroom, that I think sometimes gets overlooked, and it may create bottlenecks where people get stagnant, they miss opportunities, and you as a host aren't necessarily generating as much revenue in your community. So I think this is going to be really important, and we're going to see a lot of sort of holes in our ascension pathway when school growth boost gets fully initiated in the coming weeks. And we'll think that maybe we have like an optimized, efficient community, and we'll probably see some pathways that are a little bit confusing for people. And so I'm just going to show you what this means because I don't want to sound too abstract. Okay, click on the page, exit. There you go. I have to just follow my steps. Sometimes I think it's at the same speed as me and sometimes it's not. So inside my classrooms, what I do, and I actually learned this idea from Goose Dunlevy and his community, so I give him full credit for doing this. And I set up both my freemium communities the same way. If you go into the AI community, it's set up this way. And then in my paid community, it's a little different. I know, really glaring colors, because I have a 7-day free trial in here and I have other ways of doing it, but I still kind of move people along. So going back to the school scale camp, what I like to do is I do love my start here, but I keep it small and I keep it tight. Like I have my step 1 that I showed you, a few posts to kind of get people started. This gets them 5 points on the leaderboard, no problem. And then everyone always asks me this question. I see it in the questions when people are coming to me in the community. Brenda, how do you get your first 100 members on school? So I talk about that, and then I talk about the leaderboard and what content's going to be available and how that drops out for you. There's a little bit of a page about me. Not that it's all about me, but I do get a lot of new people coming to my community through affiliates with my live events. And then also because I run ads on ads though. They do get to know me a little bit better because they might be coming through Facebook or Instagram. And so there's content on there that they can scope out on me, as well as links to like say my YouTube channel or LinkedIn, etc. But if they're coming from an affiliate, they may not know me. And so I always want to just have a little bit of a bio. And then my posting guidelines, and then how to be an affiliate. Because I offer a 50% commission right off the bat. And so I want to make sure everyone knows what that looks like, because there's lots of opportunities for people to make affiliate dollars. And Tracy's on the call right now. And I think, Tracy, you're sitting at close to like $400, I think, which is awesome, in affiliate commissions. So I want to see more of my members making more money in my communities. And so this is a big emphasis for me. But then going back into the classroom, so that's, from start here to level 1, it's 5 points, easy enough to do. And then when you get into the levels, there's certain things that unlock for them. And I like to use these because the content's light. I strip things out. Even today, I did a little bit of cleansing. I went into my daily gems, everyone who's used to me, and I didn't get rid of them. I just took a few off, right? So it's not like there's 10 in here that you have to like look at. And I sort of just culled a little bit just to make sure that it's not too heavy and that people can move through this ascension ladder. So what it looks like if I put this on view as a member, you can see here. So this content, this level is always for free members. And I would do the same thing if it was, a paid community with 3 tiers. I would always make sure that this level is available for the low tier, and that they just have to unlock it based off of their engagement or participation in the community, and things unlock for them. Then I've got my premium. Then I continue on with the levels all the way up to level 5. I don't bother going up to level like 6, 7, 8, 9. Although I do have a surprise level here, where if people do get to level 8, they win a premium membership in the community. Because I figured, like, if you see the amount of points it takes to get from level 1 to level 8, if they're going to do all that work, heck yes, you're going to get a free membership from me, because you're basically like my internal PR team. So I'm going to reward you for that, and thank you very much. But to get to level 5, the reason why I stop here is that this is a bit of a leap. To get like here, you can pretty much get there in a day if you really wanted to. Not that I expect my members to be on school 24/7 like I am. But to get from here to here, it's a bit of a jump. It's a bit of a commitment. But what gets unlocked here is an application form to speak at my next summit. And everyone that's in my community is here to grow their school community, to get more visible, to get more traffic. So what better way to do that than to speak at Brenda's next summit, where there's like 6,000 people in this community. So this gets unlocked at level 5 in this community, as well as in my AI community. So I do the same thing over there, because that audience is all about monetizing their AI offers. And again, what better way to do that than to be a speaker at my next AI summit and talk about what you do with your clients and what your offer is. So it just gets them that visibility. So I know that this is something that people want and people go after. And when they are aware of it, like, there's tons of little like competitions that we have. So Emily, who's one of my growth strategists that works for me in my community, she'll do sessions like right now. She's building things up because there's a lot of people that want to be a speaker for my October summit. So she has all these like fun posts, like if your business was a movie, and people can write some fun things in here and it boosts them up. There's also serious stuff in the community that, hey, like, does it have to be all serious? Does it always have to be about like what the outcome, what the transformation is? Can't some people just come here from a place of entertainment instead of like zoning out on Instagram tonight? Could you come also to the community and check out some fun posts, boost each other up, move up some levels, and then speak at my next summit? So we have a combination of serious stuff, but also fun stuff in the community to keep people engaged and coming back. So those are just some examples of kind of when I'm talking about constructing this ascension path. But the reason why I call it an ascension path, because you might be thinking, well, Brenda, like, you're not making money off of that stuff. Sorry, I got out of this for some reason. Well, no, I'm not directly, but I will, because these are the people, as they get more engaged in the community, they build more affinity, more relationships. And I say this in a genuine, affectionate way, they miss out on some things that they see their friends getting to do. So they miss out on being in premium. They miss out on being in VIP. And that's not what I'm trying to create. I'm not trying to create like a them versus us thing. But I do want people to see, hey, if you are really built into creating this transformation in your business or in your life, whatever that end goal is in your community, then you do need to move up to premium or VIP, because that's actually where we're going to apply it. That's actually where like the rubber hits the road. In free, it's just the amuse bouche. It's just the taster of what could happen. Even if you have a $7 free and like $7, paid tier, that's just like an entry. $7 in free, like there's not very much difference. Like I know like they're giving you money, which is great, and that's going to help you out with Growth Boost, but the content shouldn't be that much different. Like it's just one step up, right? If like in the old days when we used to have do lead magnets, and then we'd have a low ticket offer or a self-liquidating offer tacked onto it at the checkout. It's the same type of thing, right? It's not that much of a leap. Going from $7 to $59 or 0 to 69, that's a leap. So then you need to show people what that leap would look like. And so utilizing could be a challenge. I like using the leaderboard because then it's more self-led. I tend to travel a lot, and I like to work 20 to 25 hours a week in my business. I love challenges, and I bring in people like Jen to show my audience how to do challenges. I personally don't do challenges because it's a lot of like my own personal time and energy into it. And I'm happy with my members doing this in a self-led way. That's just my take on it. And so that's the other thing too, as a side note, when you're designing your community, like do it that it makes you feel good. When I used to do challenges, I would get really anxious. And I felt like I had to be in the community all the time, leading people through these challenges. And that's just a me thing. It's not anything, maybe I'll work on it one day, but right now I love the leaderboard for that reason. A couple other things, because we're heading on the home stretch here. So engineer recurring revenue through ongoing value. So what would make someone happy to stay another month? This is what we need to be thinking about. So here's the whole debate about monthly recurring revenue versus annual revenue. Personally, I love annual revenue. I love selling VIP at annual. So what I typically do is in my freemium community, and I've also done this in my paid tier communities, is premium is always monthly and VIP is annual. And technically VIP is a discounted rate off of premium. But now what I've done is, as I've continued on with VIP, I've been adding more to VIP because I want those people to stick around like when they come up for annual renewal and knowing that there's new stuff coming every month. So every month I'm looking at new things. How do I build this so that I'm not to the point of exhaustion and like working on content and new things all the time in my community? When I thought about my communities, I thought about premium first. What I often hear from people is they start a community, either low ticket and then they add on the tiers, or they start it free and then they add on the tiers. I start thinking about my premium offer right away. My premium offer to me is my signature offer. It's what like I do at my core. And when I introduce it to somebody, I'm not going to give them the whole thing. I'm going to give them, again, one bite at a time. It's like the big elephant. Like I'm 56 years old. I've been working in businesses and growing businesses for 32 years. Like I'm not going to give you all of that at once. And that's the beautiful thing that differentiates us as community owners. People are paying for our experiences because like content is cheap now compared to AI. Like that PDF tool that maybe we could sell at $27 went down to like maybe a cent yesterday. And not to say again, it's not valuable. It's just you're the value. You're the experience. You're the thing that people are going to pay for. So think about how you can like continue to create that lifetime value for your members in premium and VIP monthly. It could be a new workshop. It could be a guest expert that's coming in. So like you could go create the workshop, or I can bring in Jen to teach people around how to do what's the word I'm looking for? Challenges in my community. I could create office hours, accountability, like my project that I've got going on with the VIPs right now to develop their school summits, templates that I could create, or apps, right? So that they become more engaged. This dials up the retention level because people are less prone over the next 3 to 5 months to leave, or when it comes time to annual renewal, to leave because they're thinking, wow, at annual renewal, I came in Brenda's community when it was 233. Now it's 525 and she's got all the stuff in it. I'm not leaving. I want all the stuff that she's still created as well as the new stuff that's coming down. So I'm always thinking about that. And then building invisible systems that run the community for you. I think this is like sort of the key thing that I also want to sort of like stress. These are principles. I'm going to make sure too that you get the deck. So if anyone's been texting about that in the chat, you'll get the deck. I'll send that to Jen and Katja afterwards, and they can upload it with my stuff. So build invisible systems that run your community for you. These are things that if they're not in place right now, you need to be starting to think about with growth. And the only reason why I'm saying that is like, you might be going, Brenda, some of this stuff is like, I only have 23 members right now. I'm like, I know, but if you're driving traffic to your school community and you're monetizing through some of the ways that I just shared with you around how you can be making money on your school is going to reward you with Growth Boost. So if you're only getting like 2 or 3 people from school right now, just watch out, like hold on to your seat. Quote Sam Evans, like they haven't even like, if there was like a range of 0 to 50 on what they could do with School Growth Boost, they're basically saying they're at 1 out of 50 right now. So we haven't even seen the actual full potential of it. So that's my thing is if you're not ready to scale, these are some things that you want to be looking at doing. You know, you want to have a welcome process, an onboarding process that's in check. Could be your challenge, could be your leaderboard, but you want to make sure that that's tight and it's tested and you've gotten feedback and validation from your members on it. You want to make sure that you've got a strong event calendar, right? And I'm not just talking about weekly calls. I'm talking about some things that bring people together. Like I love my summits where it's like people, who is it? Anna McLean. Some people, Anna might be here. If she's here, you can raise your hand or drop me an emoji. But she comes to all of my events and it's amazing. Do I hear from Anna throughout the year on comments and posts and things like that in the community? Sometimes, not all the time. It's okay. No judgment. But always Anna is on the calls. She's on every single call. She'll be like locked in, seatbelt on. She is like ready to go. Full force in all my summits. And I love that. So events can bring people together. And I think that's something to think about. So running summits, running bundles, I'm always going to promote that. Member introductions, like I mentioned, keep them simple. Don't make them so overwhelming that people's notifications go out the window, but also, you know, create that cross-pollination in your community. Weekly emails. So do you have an email list? Great. Are you utilizing an email system? Awesome. But you could also just be utilizing the 72-hour toggle button, right? We all have it. You can turn that on every 72 hours and it goes right into your members' email, even if you're not necessarily using an email system because school has their email. So this is a good thing. Resource libraries, right? Keeping a running stack of things and SOPs even for yourself and for your team as you continue to grow and you bring on people like moderators, administrators. You want to make sure you've got those things available to keep standards in place. And then like this leaderboard or some type of recognition, right? For members that are contributing in your community. All right, last slide. This brings it all kind of together. And I just love like sort of the engineering elements. I grew up in an engineering household, so I love all these like I send my deck sometimes to my dad because he's an engineer and he's like, did you create this? And I'm like, no, Dad, no BLM. He's like, wow. Anyways, here's my thing, right? The destination, let's start with the end in mind, is the transformation, the result that we want to create for people. But we do that through this ascension pathway that builds this momentum and helps us generate revenue and starts getting in the conversations of conversion, right? When I see people moving from level 1 to 2 to 5, like some people did that over the last week in our bundle alone. And then they upgraded to VIP. It was like, it was obvious. Did I have to say you should upgrade to VIP? Let's get on a sales call for half an hour and talk about VIP. No. Some of them maybe asked me like 2 or 3 questions in the chat, in the DMs, but they upgraded. It became very obvious to them as far as sort of like what that next pathway was. The engine, rhythm, and participation, right? Builds the engagement. By having those like sort of repetitive episodes that people can count on, whether that's a weekly call or a mentor that comes in every week, those things it just creates that predictable pattern. And then the tracks, right? Invisible systems, but behind the scenes, really working to help you grow and scale. So I leave with these 5 questions. Again, you'll get the deck, but what transformation do you help people achieve, right? We're no longer building just content anymore or courses. It's what's the transformation do we help them achieve? And why would somebody come back next week, next month, in the next 5 months into your community? What activity gets members talking? And like, so as an example, it was funny because I was, again, talking with Sarah Hinken this morning. We're like texting back and forth. And I always love to get feedback from anybody. Like I mentioned, everyone's giving me feedback. And so Sarah's giving me feedback on my classroom. I'm like, thank you. And she was talking about level 3. And so I took some of it, like, because I had, like, as an example, under Growth Boost here, I had like quite a few posts. So what I like to do is I don't necessarily like to create piles and piles of content in my courses. What I'll do is I'll do a post on something, and I love to use Notebook LM. This is like a little content hack here, right here, and I'll create an infographic on this concept, like Growth Boost as an example. And then I post that in the community. People comment, love it. This is great. Helps me understand it. Awesome. Love your infographics, Brenda. I don't create them. Notebook LM does. I'm fully transparent about that. And then I pin it under the subject matter in the course, right? So I have it under Daily Gems, subheading, Growth Boost, Traffic, Leadership, etc., just to make it easier. And then this way people just jump into the content and they're always continually participating in the community versus the content lives on itself in classroom and kind of nobody sees it. It's like the tree that falls in the forest and no one hears it. It's the same thing with our content. It just kind of goes into the classroom and nobody, like, yes, there's the little barometer levels, but nobody else really sees that. So this is a way to kind of link the community with the classroom. What was my point around this? Oh yeah. And so she was giving me feedback like, oh, you're asking them to do too much. I'm like, okay, I'll trim. Because I do want people to ascend to the next level. I do want them to go to 4 to 5, but if they're getting bogged down by some of this stuff, then yeah. So I trimmed it. Plus I also have new stuff coming. So I want to make sure that it's always fresh, always changing. And if people want to get the full enchilada, they can go into categories here under Daily Gems and get all of them. Insights group. So that's all I got. But we got 15 minutes before we wrap up, or 12 minutes. And I want to come into the chat. Jen, I mean, is there a summary? Is there like
this was so great, Brenda. Thank you so much for sharing all of this great info.
No
I'm coming
problem.
back to this. Daily Gems kind of blew my mind. Definitely gonna have to look at that a little bit closer as well. I would love for us to take some questions, but first, before we bombard Brenda with questions, I would love for us to give some love to Brenda in the chat. Throw some emojis in there, give her some gratitude or gratitudes, as Katya always says in her community. We're just so grateful to you for spending this time so generously with us and giving us the benefit of your wisdom and your experience. So good. All right. So Maggie says that was really good. Thank you. Oh, it's going so fast. Han Cheng says, thank you so much. Jennifer says, really appreciate you, Brenda. You're getting lots of great emojis. Oh yes, thank you. He's a cutie. The black cat. Appreciate you, Brenda. Okay, people, if this amazing presentation hasn't already convinced you, I highly recommend School Scale Camp. It's all about school and it teaches you how to scale and it's fun like camp, says Tracy.
Thanks.
Angela says, thank you for sharing your time and experience with us. Jacqueline says, I'm a total convert. Thanks. Nice. Lynn says, I'm already in the community. It's a great community, by the way. Love the blueprint.
Thank you.
Great content. Looking forward to checking out your AI. Thank you, Brenda. Wonderful. Thank you. Love the information. Thank you. Wonderful content. I'll now go back and think about my upcoming community in a different way. Awesome. Heartfelt thanks for the invaluable talk for the business insights. Look forward to staying in touch. Excellent talk. All right. Awesome. So let's answer some questions. Everyone. Who has questions for Brenda? Oh, and MC just joined both of your communities and today is her birthday. Him. I don't know you, MC. Are you? What are your pronouns, my friend? Happy birthday.
Well, I see Jacqueline put a comment in here. Need that. I thought starting a community would be exhausting to maintain. Yeah, you know what? It can be, but I think it's also about like kind of putting in some of those systems that I just sort of talked about. And here's the catch I always just hear from members is, I'll launch my community after I've built the content. And I'm like, no, we launch the community, then we build the content. We build after that, right? So. Like we're pioneers. We're pioneers. We gotta like build the tent and then we build the wood frame and then we build it out of brick and so.
We had one question at the beginning and I can't find it now, but the question was about will you show us how you build the app for your summit? And I'm sure we don't have time for that, but if
Yeah.
you can, yes, it's a little bit more. But can you let them know where they can find the information? I am assuming in your AI community, there is a lot of resources that can help them, but I will let you answer this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can also just sort of like, so I use Claude Code, and like I'm not gonna, yeah, as Katya said, I'm not gonna go into like showing you today how to build it because it's like a whole other session. But where is even the app? Somewhere down in here. That's my quiz. Anyways, this is like my school team. So like building an app in Claude Code is just like a series of like, honestly, it's just conversations with Claude. Like this is an example where I have an AI school team already built out in custom GPTs that I launched last year. And then I moved them all over to Claude earlier this year. And I just basically said, like I started working in Claude Cowork, and then I said, okay, now I'm going to come over to Claude Code. And so there's all these like sort of earlier conversations with Claude, basically just saying like, I want to do this and this is what it's all about. And so then I had to like set it up and configure it. It was just like literally a series of conversations back and forth, testing it giving me links, excuse me, trying it out, testing it, and then to a point where we got it. And I say like just back and forth. I mean, it took me a week. That one took me kind of like a weekend, like kind of a Saturday, Sunday, and not me at it all the time. It was working, right? Like Claude was working. I wasn't working. I just come in and like look at whatever it created and be like, more to the left, take that down. I don't like the font you used. Like I was like kind of nasty, like demanding. But but it got made for me. So it was like the nice thing about Claude Code is because I grew up with software developers, and I actually had to learn how to code because my dad again was an engineer, and I had to learn DOS and all this sort of stuff. Like I had to, like in order to sit at the dinner table, it's kind of like rite of passage. And so I know how to code in old language, not today's software developer, but it definitely, it was funny because I was talking to after I finished building this, I was talking to like my old director of IT, Jason, who's a software developer. And I said, it's like having conversations with you when you used to work for me, but like I'm really not very nice and I'm really demanding and I'm just asking you to do it versus before it would have been like, okay, listen to Jason and his ideas, encourage his thought, encourage him to be like a great leader with his team and all this sort of stuff. Now I'm just like, make this happen. I want this done in the next like 5 hours type of thing. And so you can make all those expectations. So this is what the school team ends up looking like. We built it out like this. And, it kind of keeps this camp theme with the forest in the background. Here's the team. And there's 12 of them, but they all talk together and you can upload things. You can take screenshots. You can share, your YouTube thumbnails with Poppy, and she's going to come back and give you advice on what you should be doing differently. And there's an FAQ guide on how to get it all done. So this is what I'm also talking about too, is that I can just like build, like if I look at, because people ask me all the time, like, okay, Brenda, how do I create a signature talk for one of your summits? And I'm like, just use Mave. Like, I don't want to build a course. I don't even want to, no offense to everybody, I don't even want to teach a course anymore on workshop design. I've done all of that. And I guess the thing is that, out of a community of 6,000 people, not all 6,000 people are going to come to the workshop. I don't want all of them to come to the workshop. I don't have enough Zoom links for all of that. And not everyone's going to watch the replay afterwards. But could they work with Mave to actually design their workshop coach, like to design their workshop for their next upcoming summit? That's what I want to see happen, because that's ultimately what they want to do. They don't want to sit through the hours of training. They don't want to go through PowerPoint decks. They don't want to have to review, 10 hours of replays. They want to build the workshop. And so just give them the tool on how to build the workshop. That's how I look at it. So this is where I'm saying like courses is going to compress, and it's going to be interactive tools like this that will do the work with them. And not to say that we're bypassing the principles. It's not like I don't want my kids to go to school and just use AI in the job market. No, I want them to learn history, mathematics, all those things. But I also want them to, like you hear this all the time about how kids like graduate from high school and they don't have applicable skills that they can use in life. And this is what I also want for members in our community, is that they have applicable, like have an output. They have something that they've created from a result of using one of these applications that just again, gives them more capacity, and, you know, they don't have to necessarily think about like 10 hours of training that they have to go through. So, and if you want to, then do that. But that's my whole thing too, is then get some initials behind your name. Like, you know, go back to school, get your MBA type of thing, go to law school, get like credentials behind your name versus like, oh, I did 10 hours of training and, you know, all I got to show for it is, you know, an emoji. Like, I want to make sure that like it's valuable time in the community and that you can move your business forward.
Awesome.
Okay.
Madison had a couple questions earlier on before we get to
Mhm.
the ones. So she said, first, what social media do you run ads on? I'm
Mhm.
assuming Meta, but I don't know if you
Meta.
also run Google ads.
I
Just
have
one?
done some ads just to test it out, but I'm just a diehard Facebook and Instagram user that way, and so I just use Meta ads. They come easily to me.
Same. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And then if you only have a school that costs $15 for now, does it make sense to do 40% commission? And I would love to have this conversation. Like,
Oh, on affiliates?
yeah.
Yeah. Do it right away. I mean, unless you're on a hobby plan, because you can't. But if you're on a pro plan, I would turn on it all the way up to 50% commission. The reason why is I look at it as being a 50-50 partnership. You are doing the work for me. You're finding the person, you're telling them about my community, like all those people saying join School Scale Camp. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, you're doing the work for me. All I need to do is make sure that it's a great environment. They pass their orientation, like that, you know, that hill to climb. But you're doing the work for me to find these people. So yeah, you're going to get 50%. Just like the person that gets up to level 8 gets a free membership, like free premium membership in my community, because you did the work and like, you know, being my PR person. So I want to reward you that way. And in the big scheme of things, it's like, well, and here's my other thing is because everyone on Schoolers is talking about school taking 30% with their attribution. I'm just like, I don't understand what the big deal
That's
is. I get
70% you
50%.
didn't have before. Like, why would you not? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth talking about this because if
Mhm.
your model requires you to spend 15, 11, $12 to
Mhm.
serve that customer in your membership to
Right.
the point where the affiliate commission would make it unprofitable, you don't have a healthy, scalable community model.
No. Yeah.
We got to talk about
So
that. Like,
yeah, so
it's the thing.
yeah, well, that's the thing. So you have to look at, well, how much does it cost me for me to run my business? And, you know, this all comes back to, well, why did I bring summits onto school? Because I was doing summits off of school and it was really expensive. And I was listening to my colleagues that were running summits off of school and it was also really expensive. And the other thing is I was going to some of like the big people, the big guys that were doing it, and they were spending all this money on ads, or they weren't because they didn't have money to spend on ads. They were putting either their own money. I'd be like, well, how much should you spend? Oh, 1,500. I'm like, that's it? Okay. And they're like, yeah, we got this many people. And I'm like, well, because you didn't spend very much money on ads. I'm like, how much did you get in sponsorship dollars? Like it was just like low, low, low. And I'm like, wow, you're putting so much pressure on yourself to do it. And you've got all this tech that you're paying for, like affiliate links and email marketing and all this sort of stuff that you're paying for. That's why I brought it to school, because I could shed all those costs. I also charge for sponsorships, like for live talks, and I put that money into my ad budget. And I spend anywhere between 5 to 10K on an event, generating people coming into my school community. So the numbers end up working for me. So to give 50% affiliate is kind of like, for me, it's a no-brainer. I'll make it back, no problem. And the beauty of it is like that member that's usually recommending people are typically premium or VIP members. And so they're sticking around. And then they attract in other premium or VIP members that stick around. And there's that retention number that I was talking about earlier. So School Growth Boost will reward you if your retention numbers are strong. So it all like kind of fits together.
If you just started a community and it's a fitness, wellness, accountability community, do you build it as you go? If you're going live on Zoom 9 times in 21 days, should I use Zoom or should I use the go live button in school?
Well, I would just use as much as school as possible. Zoom's expensive. It's just another cost in your business. The only reason why I occasionally use Zoom is because sometimes I will run a same like session between my 2 or 3 communities. I'll just invite everybody onto a call, like, hey, a Q&A call with Brenda on Friday morning. jump in. And so that's the only reason why, because I can't bridge between communities with school calls. But otherwise, I would just get rid of Zoom as well, because I don't really need it. So I would just use the live button. I would do school webinar, school call. Yeah, and your content are your lives and create replays. But here's the thing, they're available for premium. They come at a cost. So if you're using it at low ticket, maybe low ticket is the live, and then premium is the replay, right? They get the replay afterwards. So replay is a bit of a privilege, right? Creating these like video vaults, like we used to talk about, oh, you get like 200 hours of videos and this is a great thing in your value stack. Nobody watches them, but you want to keep a few of them for people that were away last week that, you know, or if you're doing, say, like a project thing or a challenge, like you're talking about like a 21-day thing, so people can like piece it together. But after that, I don't necessarily keep them. I only keep replays of my weekly Q&A calls for running 5 weeks.
Yeah. And I
'Cause-
really love that because it's like in the beginning, you're either money rich or you're time rich, right? So if you are at a point where you're not able to invest in premium, you're spending your time and you're being there live. If you don't have the time, the way to get it is to spend the money and join premium, right?
Yeah,
Like any other-
exactly.
how did you, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. How did you recap the transcripts using Claude? I just grabbed the transcript link from school because I do all of my summit talks on school webinar or school call. And so as soon as you upload it into school, then you've got the option to grab the transcript link straight from school. And then I take the transcript link and just drop it into Claude.
Yep.
Just grab it and do it that way.
All right, we have a few more questions, but we are at our hour and I want to respect your time. I don't know if you have a couple more minutes to answer.
I can do a couple more minutes. If you can do a couple more minutes, let's plow
absolutely
through them.
can.
I'll be briefer. Do you want to do Maggie here? What
Yeah.
if you don't have any budget for paid ads? So Maggie, then, okay, so that goes back to traffic and how you're driving traffic to your community. So we can look at it granular. I don't have money for ads, or we take it up on a level and say, what are the 4 types of ways that you can drive traffic to your school community? So number 1 is short form content, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Facebook. Those are all versions of short form content. Pick one, do it well, cross the finish line on it. Like, I don't, TikTok, like if you like TikTok, go after TikTok and just like go home on it. And then second form of traffic is second source of traffic is long form content. So blogs, podcasts, Substack, YouTube, Pinterest. Again, pick one, go home on it. I would, if I could put an asterisk beside it, try YouTube. If you don't have a long form content, YouTube in school, really great combination. And then third traffic source is I'm forgetting my spiel here. Collaborations. People should
Like
people make
other
me know
people's
this.
audience is my summit friend.
Yes, other people's audiences, leverage warm audiences, build relationships with school community hosts, start a summit together, or do masterclass swaps, right? Jen, you teach in mine, I'll teach in yours. Great. We share each other's warm audiences, share each other's affiliate links. We make money on the side as well. So those are all like good things. And then the fourth thing is ads. So my thing with ads too is from a cost standpoint, yeah, like maybe you don't have a $10,000 ad budget. I mean, I throw that out there, but like I don't either. It's my sponsorship from my summit. So I learn how to run summits on school and I sell placements in my school community to school community hosts that want to get in front of my community. And then I generate a budget for my ad. I didn't have a $10,000 ad budget either. I still don't have a $10,000 ad budget. I'm codependent on my speakers to provide that for me. But at the same time, I still run ads to validate my messaging, to validate my offers inside my community. And that can be, Jen's like, talk to Jen, she's a pro on this, but you can just test something for 72 hours, right? $25 a day, 72 hours. Okay, my about page is connecting with people. It's my ideal audience. I've talked to some of these people. Yes, great. Go back to organic. So
And then
that's
the
my answer
goal
for
is
that
that eventually your ads should start paying for themselves, right? Otherwise, we're
based
just
off of what you're
throwing money
selling.
at Facebook when Zuckerberg does not need any more money.
Well, supposedly he's giving it all away, but glad we could help him with.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could help him with that.
Yeah.
MC Fitness, oh, so true. I started with a 7-day reset wellness and fitness challenge for $98 and I got 20 people to sign up. Awesome. And then I've been figuring out how to transfer that into a $15 a month and then a 21-day start. Oh, we already answered this one, didn't we?
Not sure. So the question is not sure if I should start with a free community.
Oh,
versus-
yeah. So here's my thing is freemium is looking sweeter by the minute just because of some of the new things that have rolled out with freemium. There's definitely a sentiment on schoolers that, oh, if you start freemium, you're not going to make any money, so you have to go to paid tiers. I'm always like, whenever I see a number of those posts, I'll be like, freemium works. It works. The reason why it doesn't work for some is we go 0 to 15 at premium. That's not a freemium community. You need to go 0 to a minimum of $49 at premium. And some people might be going, what? That's a big jump, Brenda, from free to 49. I'm like, yeah, because they're in there for free. It's called know, like, and trust. Like you've got them like they're captive audiences. You can see their profile, they can see you, they can see what you're posting, I can see what they're posting. It's like you can see what's going on in there and you can build this know, like, and trust in a free environment. Same thing goes though for $7 low ticket start or $9 low ticket start. If it's going 7 to like 29, I just don't think that there's enough of a reason to jump up. And a lot of times I go in when I do my audits with my VIPs, we're giving so much away at free, there's no reason to upgrade. So again, free needs to be the moose bouche of premium, right? Just the starter, not even like the large Caesar salad. I'm talking about like one tostada.
All right. Well, speaking of amuse-bouche and the
There
full
you go.
meal, the full meal is available in Brenda's school communities, and you should join them. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So definitely check those out. We linked people's school communities in their classrooms, the speaker school communities. So go check hers out. We are 7 minutes over. I want to respect everyone's time, and it is our spot for afternoon tea. And Katya and I both need to get some food and touch grass. So thank you
Go
so
do that.
much for joining us, Brenda. You always bring such amazing value, and
Thank you so
fantastic
much.
to have you. And
Take care,
will
everyone.
take an hour break, and we will see you back at the top of the next hour.